And as you're tuning into what you feel like right now, let go of everything else. So we can't really do that, of course, because we always bring in to the moment whatever our previous moments are. We don't bring them all in, of course, but there is that kind of overall feeling. There's a feeling of energy. We're very much affected by our past experiences. Our nervous system remembers them. Our brain is always trying to figure out how to keep us safe, the primitive brain. And when we have something on our mind, there will be, most likely, intrusive thoughts around that, even though our intention is to clear the deck, so to speak. And yet, there's still something where we can just tune into the freshness of the moment as it is. And one of the ways that we can do that is to try to minimize the thought responses and the thought reactions to everything. Our usual pattern is to have some kind of an experience and then to think about it. Thought will comment on it, even if we're noticing our forehead and eyebrows. There's the direct experience of feeling and sensation of that, the sense perceptions as the softening happens. And we might also be noticing that, oh, my forehead is particularly tight right now. I need to figure out how to not do that anymore. And we might have some commentary on it as well. So, as much as you can, try to not be so interested in the commentary and more just focusing on the direct experience. What exactly are the sensations? How would you describe that right now in your forehead and eyebrows? And you don't even have to describe it, it's more just to notice it. I know this sensation. This sensation often happens when I turn my attention to my forehead and eyebrows and things soften. And because the brain already knows what that sensation is and knows that it's not a danger, we really don't need to be focusing on the commentary. And probably it won't even comment on it so much. And so, applying that same principle, let's move down through the body, through noticing the feeling as the breath flows in, the air flows in through our nose. The difference as it flows out after it's been warmed up by the body. And what does resistance feel like here? What does freeze feel like here? In the breath, it usually manifests as some kind of holding or tightness. So as you focus on the continuity of the breath, just let yourself really pay attention to that as you finish the exhalation. Just let it continue for another second, maybe, or two, until you've really kind of come to the point where your body wants to inhale. And then let your body take in an inhalation and then exhale. There's a letting go that happens every time we breathe out. And see if you're resisting that. Just notice. Exhale, let it continue. And let it come into the inhale. See what it feels like to let go without any hesitation. Let the out breath happen. And we're just seeing what comes up. We're looking at our experience. Is the breath just kind of easily continuous? Is it effortless? As we notice if there's any holding going on in the breath, is it easy to just let that start to flow more continuously? Or is it a bit of a struggle there? Are there thoughts about it? Relax your forehead, notice the breath, and then see, just as an experiment, what it feels like to breathe in quite deeply. So let your exhalation be soft and relaxed, and then deep inhale. And notice we might have a resistance, so to speak. At some point, we're going to come to the limit of our inhale. The rib cage can only open so far. The diaphragm muscle spreads out as we inhale, flattens. And the more relaxed we are, the more we've worked with opening our breath, the more room we'll have to breathe. And part of this pattern of shallow breathing is a form of freeze. When we breathe deeply and inhale and let life come in, all of those things that we associated with deep, robust breathing. It's not very compatible with hiding out, not being noticed, that form of freeze that doesn't even feel really safe enough to take a deep breath. So it might be a bit disconcerting to breathe fully. Notice your response. And then bring your attention down into your mouth and jaw. And as you're just bringing to mind what we've been talking about around resistance and freeze, notice if there's anything going on in your jaw that could be related to that. Just notice the hinges of your jaw, if your teeth are clenched. Relax your mouth completely. And if you have a fair bit of energy or kind of some kind of contraction in the jaw, really tune into the center of that energy and just ask the question, what's happening? Why is it so tight? Is it related to some kind of resistance? And then, of course, the mind helpfully comes in and tries to help figure it out. But we're not so much interested in figuring it out as just paying attention to the energy, noticing what it feels like, and letting that question be there. See what comes up. Might be thoughts, it might be sensation. Is there anything going on in the jaw that relates to resistance and to freezing? And then let yourself continue down through the neck and the shoulders, the back of the neck, the large muscles of the upper back. And this is a natural area of protection. So often we'll feel tightness through here, or we'll feel an energetic kind of a shield. Notice if it feels safe enough to allow that whole area to relax. And bring your attention forward into your heart center, into your chest and your stomach area. And we continue to move our attention inward, away from thoughts or thinking about our experience, into the direct perception of the experience. So notice if there's any energy around that word, resistance, in the heart center, in the stomach or the guts. And in particular, as you pay attention to the navel center, to the belly area, what would it feel like to be completely relaxed through that area? Is there any energy there that seems not so certain that's a good idea? What does this energy that might be here have to do with resistance? Maybe it knows something. Maybe it's trying to keep us safe. What's going on with the energy itself? We just drop that question in. And if that feels like it's not a good idea, if it's not comfortable, then just don't go to that area. Go to the surrounding area and notice what's happening in your heart center. Our process really is to show up and be open and curious, and then to let it evolve. We don't need to manage this at all. And then as they arise, start to look at specific examples of resistance, like going outside. We know that we'll feel better when we're out there, but there's some kind of reluctance to do that. Or whatever the examples are that are coming up for you. See if you could really look at the subtlety of that, and why is it that we don't want to do that? Why is it that we're holding back? Where is that located in the body? If images come up or words, look at them as we do, tapping or tracing the outside space. And really feeling into the energy of that in the body. What is underneath this reluctance? The discomfort, perhaps, or even fear. We have a feeling come up. And instead of going into the body and really allowing it to be seen, we turn away from it somehow, perhaps. We go eat something or turn on a TV show or something. There's all of these ways that we manage our experience or turn away from it. See if you can feel into the energy of that. Where is that coming from? And maybe there's some reassurance that we need, just to kind of assure ourselves that in this moment it's okay. At our age, it's okay. At some point, it wasn't okay. We weren't able to really hold the space for that. And that might be true in this moment as well. There might be things that are going on that are quite intense. And even then, see what the reality of the situation is now. Is it okay? Can you manage to go in and feel the energy of that? Stay with that for a few more minutes. Notice your breath. Stay grounded in your body and in this moment. Even if images or memories are coming up, we're not back in a situation. We're actually right here in this moment, looking at pictures or words or feeling sensation. Keep that perspective. Keep reminding yourself of the observer, even as we're fully engaged. We're witnessing our experience. And then see if you could drop in a request. Ask your body and your whole system, your nervous system, your brain, your whole system, to help you to become unfrozen, to move outward into what you want to do, what you know you're going to enjoy, and not to hold back. Even as we validate and honor the holding back, there's also that urge to move in, to open. Let's sit with that for a moment. Ask your system to help you to be more open, less resistant, less frozen. Not a demand, not a judgment, more of an invitation. And then come back. Just come back into your body, your breath, just noticing that we're about to finish the inquiry. Of course, we can always keep going with it. Be very interesting to touch back into this. Right in that moment when you're kind of reluctant to sit with a feeling, or when you're feeling like, I know I'd love to go outside, but there's some kind of reluctance, just to touch back into that then and see what's happening too. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Come back to the group.